All right, we good? It says we live here. We live, y'all. We live. And y'all know what we talking about tonight. I got a feeling we're going to have a lot of questions tonight. This morning. I always say this tonight. This morning. Hello and welcome to another Sunday Bars. Today is November 13th, 2022. And I'm going to say this is a light intro to Sex Magic, part 1. Because this is so deep and you're going to understand why this is deep, no pun intended. But again, I'm going to call this Intro to Sex Magic, Part 1. Again, today is Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Tonight's show, this morning's show intentions, but I'm too smooth to be embarrassed by that, is to wake up all compatible listeners and viewers. Okay? So let's get right into it. These are not the same energy wars your mommy and daddy were fighting, or even your grandparents. Co-creating new yous, right? Co-creating new yous with every new body. And every new body kind of sounds like everybody. Think to yourself, when you had sex for the first time, your mind was not the same afterwards. It's because you merged energies with the person you thought you were compatible with, mainly due to your feelings. The bad part about listening to your feelings and doing what your feelings tell you is that your so-called feelings can be altered by evil sex magic attacks. Which is an attack, right? But what kind of an attack? An attack is the concept of fighting against the work of pre-natural evil forces. I'm going to say that again. An attack is the concept of fighting against the work of we'll just say evil forces. Let's just say it like that. And shout out to all my Bible readers out there. We're going to give you 2 Bible verses. For the people that can't hear nothing I'm saying until you get Bible verses. He's talking about sex magic. Turn to 2 Corinthians 10, 4 through 5. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. What's the other one? Ephesians 6:12. When you go through war, you attacking somebody, you start wrestling, right? Well, according to Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. I'm going to kill you. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against, or wrestle could be sex, right? Oh, what's it like? Put it in the chat if you never heard that before. Wrestling is kind of right? That's why I never really got into it with dudes. Like, I never joined a wrestling team because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to really doing this. I don't want to practice doing this with y'all. And some of y'all didn't take a shower this morning, and I'm not going to practice wrestling with you guys. So, wrestling is kind of sexual, right? So, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world. Watch this, high value man, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. And I dare y'all think the nerds, the nice nerds are at the top. I hope y'all know darkness is at the top. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So again, at the end of the day, somebody might say he chopped that up. Let me say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So there's the whole verse. But here we go. Mainly because our bodies are merely byproducts of our mind levels. So spirits and energies or vibrations are more ingredients that influence the mind. Now, let me show you how sex can be connected to karma. And I'm going to go around. So again, if y'all just ready for me to hit one or go one path, you must be out of your mind. I'm going to touch so many spots. And if you don't listen like that, I don't know, somebody else might be talking about it. All right, here we go. Can sex magic be connected to karma? I bet you $100 that your current enemies are currently under sex magic. Meaning, whoever they're having their most cherished relations with, sex, is probably not a fan of yours. I'm going to say this again. Your enemies, let's say so-called enemies, because a lot of people are spiritual and I have no enemies because I smell and I talk like that. Your duality, I don't care if it's at work or whatever, your duality is currently probably under sex magic. A lot of people's enemies are under sex magic, I promise you. I didn't say all, I said a lot. Meaning, whoever they're having their most cherished relations with is probably not a fan of yours too. It tends to wear down towards the end of the flings, their dating life or relationship or even their marriage. After their love life begin to sour, expect a phone call from those same energy vampires looking for greener grass. Oh, they calling me looking for greener grass. Oh, I knew they couldn't stop thinking about me. Looking for greener grass. Most people that are currently under sex magic are doing it with their karmic partners. Because I know a lot of y'all are like, well, how do you get under sex magic? Now, again, I'm going to give y'all some disclaimers on here. I'm not telling y'all this is the end all be all, but I promise y'all, if y'all meet anybody that tells y'all it's the end all be all, towards the end of this, you'll understand you won't listen to them the same. Be courteous, but you will be like, yeah. Okay, so most people that are currently under sex magic, all right, are doing it with their karmic partners. Now, these are your potential partners if you choose them, okay, that qualify you to experience that cursed part of life together or apart, because you already merged energies and karmas. While you could have been in Dubai with your divine twin energy. You could have been in Dubai with your twin energy, but you linked up with your karmic partner. Now, when people say they thought the grass was greener on the other side, this means that they fell for another karmic partner to experience that new type of karma with. Jason, what's the definition of karmic partner? Because I know it's so many definitions. The one I'm using, so again, if you don't like mine, whatever. A karmic relationship is one that is filled with an all-consuming passion. These are passion. But it's extremely difficult to maintain. Watch this. I know it's hard to maintain it. But the karma's not. The karma that comes with that terrible energy transfer. That was an energy transfer. No, it was passion. No. It felt like passion to you, but that was one hell of an energy transfer. That's why it feels so good. And so, whatever you want to call, whatever your human experience, even though we don't we don't sex with flesh and blood, that was a terrible energy transfer. And it will maintain itself in your life and their lives with no problems. Now, this is them. Why is it so hard to maintain, Jason? Because that's not karmics is not supposed to be together, according to this information. Like fire and water, who is alive that can contain the steam? If fire and water try to get together, who's going to contain that steam? Now, before you have sex with them, anybody, I'm telling y'all, sex is a science. Before you have sex with them, find out how well off their exes are. If energy is never destroyed but transferred, if every one of their exes has not reached a higher level, and they're down, and you meet them and they're like, yeah, all my exes are down. You're going to merge energies. You are crazy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. In 2022, I know a lot of basketball players that I know would have got with Kim Kardashian. I'm just keeping it real. But back then, yes, they would have dated her and everything. But not dating her is due to Kim Kardashian putting her life out to be critiqued. So now we can analyze the lives of her exes, which makes dating her insane now. Energy is not destroyed, it's transferred. Study the exes of the people you're having sex with because you're next. They're all doing good. Okay, cool, you're next. They all doing bad and they lost their mind. You're next. Because becoming one flesh sounds sexual. Becoming one flesh sounds sexual. Becoming one flesh sounds sexual. Jason, I need some scripture. I know you need some scripture. Genesis 2:24 states, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become what? One flesh. So from an energetic, spiritual, and vibrational standpoint, sex makes you one with everyone you sleep with. This is why so many people report losing their biological... No, I'm going to say this so slow. Please, y'all better feel me on this. Feel me on this right now. I figured out this whole divorce, break down the family, you can do better. Let me watch this. This is why so many people report losing their biological parent when both of their biological parents divorce. Mommy will start acting like the new stepdaddy. And the father will build his new family and run and focus on it. So he'll run and focus on his new family. Like a lot of guys who get a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, whatever chances they get to rebuild a family, they're really, really focusing on that. So the children lose because they're like, dang, my daddy got to focus on that new. And that's if you even like your step parents, because the statistics of step parents getting along with children that are not theirs aren't as high as yet everybody thinks it is. So again, mommy's going to start acting like the new stepdaddy, and father is going to focus on the new family. So after 2 or 3 marriages, you may want to kiss this normal grandparenting experience goodbye, no matter your parents' age. You should not ever want to leave your children with all of your parents' new love interests. Yeah, this is mommy's new man. Yeah, this is daddy's third wife. Go over there and kiss your grandmother. No, why y'all be doing y'all children like that? Seriously? This is daddy's 4th wife. Kiss your mom. Don't they sound funny? But if she's cold, I've seen people say, Halle Berry is my stepmom. Okay, remember, children, I'm talking to the children right now. At 1:42 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Now, remember, children, when your father and mother first had sex, they became one, which allowed them to create a new one, and you are that one. If that makes sense. So you got to see the purest sides of your co-creators, but when mommy and daddy have sex with someone else, they will become one with strangers, and guess who gets to have a brand new daddy and mommy? The children. Now, I'm talking to all my human resources directors of the world. I have even told many human resources directors to check their best hires' sex lives and their worst fires' sex lives. And you will see patterns on both sides. Most of the human resources directors, they said that's illegal, but they understood my point. So let's move on. Oh, Hot Girl Summers. I don't really need to talk that much about the Hot Girl Summers, but sex is a transfer of energies. And a Hot Girl Summer is It merely means a dramatic increase in a girl's energy, vibration, and spiritual intake from other people. That's like going to a shady used car lot and buying the so-called prettiest car and not thinking you will ever feel the karma of its high mileage. I'm going to say that again. That's like going to a shady car lot, a reputable car lot. Get the Tootsie right here. I said a shady used car car lot. Buying the so-called prettiest car on the lot and not thinking you will ever feel the karma of its high mileage. Moving on. Now, I have a question for you. So, since we talk about hot girl summers, can a girl's trip become a girl's trap? Spiritually speaking only. Since we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. So, can a girl's trip become a girl's trap? I'm just asking. Let's move on. Now, did you know computer sex equals fake releases? So it's all still in there. The stuff that you thought you released, according to this science. Now, imagine back then not knowing what an email inbox or sliding in the DM was, but there's some guy talking about computer love. Y'all chill out. We ain't dancing in here right now. So is Roger Troutman responsible for internet porn? These are the type of questions that keep me up at night. I'm being super sarcastic. So listen to the words: stop beating and overcoming porn addiction. No pun intended, but those words overcoming and beating are usually the general reasons why the humans have the porn addiction. Would you agree? So let's do some more math. Toys. This is for the ladies. Toys equals a fake sex life. According to this science, toys equals a fake sex life, which equals fake releases. So it's all still in there. No, not released. No, that was a toy, which equals a fake sex life, which equals a fake release or a toy release. A human can get stuck in a fake release sex life for years. And when they do finally have sex with a human, they are even more weirder than ever. I thought I was going to say something scientific. No, I'm going to say weirder forever. Because again, robot sex. Or no, I'm sorry. Computer love. Is that what y'all be seeing when y'all deal with toys? I'm just asking. Did Robert Troutman make the theme song to people finding love online? Okay. Jason, I'm tired of all this bad stuff about this technology and sex magic and da-da-da. We haven't even laid the groundwork, but again, we're going to jump to all these parts because there's just no handbook to be like, this is where you start talking about sex magic. How to rise above sex magic? That's a good question. But the answer was in the title. Rise above. You can out-vibrate sex magic. They got sex magic on me. You can out-vibrate sex magic, but you cannot go below it or under it because it's a bottomless trap. But you can rise above it. You right, Jason. Let's go out and celebrate and drink wine and alcohol. No. Alcohol and wine works perfectly with keeping sex magic spells going. What do you mean, Jason? I don't get it. I know you don't. I can tell by the way y'all looking. You know when you go to the doctor and you get a surgery and then you get prescribed pills and then to keep the success of the surgery going? Same with sex magic. People that drink are perfect hosts to be mounted by new vibration, energies, or spirits, whatever you want to call it. That's why I gave you 3. I don't believe in Vibrations. Okay, that's science, but okay. I don't believe in energies. I believe in spirits. Okay, you're getting mounted. And if you drink wine and spirits, it's like getting the pills from the doctor to keep the success of the surgery going. You're keeping the success of the spiritual transfer going by putting more wine and spirits in there. Let's go back in time to qualify what I'm talking about today. Now, do you remember the 1960s free love movement? Y'all remember that? Let's look at all, even though nothing in life is free. Let's look at the free love period of the 1960s, and let's look at modern 2022 and see if there's nothing new under the sun, I guess, because that's in the Bible, and y'all love proving that right. What's going on with people in 2022? What's up with the relationships and love? And it's like everything's jacked up. It's the end of the world. No, you didn't go to history class. How did you know, Jason? How did you know that I just didn't go to a history class? Because I care about my money, Jason, but you don't know about history. I care about my health. You don't know about your history. The 1960s free love is a social movement that accepts all forms of love. The movement's initial goal was to separate the state from sexual and romantic matters such as marriage, birth control, and adultery. It stated that such issues were the concern of the peoples involved and no one else. Spreading love and spreading so-called many other things. So in an article written by Joan Johnson Lewis, updated April 11, 2019. So this is pretty recent, but again, check these bars out. It stated that the name free love has been given to a variety of movements in history with different meanings. In the 1960s and 70s, free love came to imply a sexually active lifestyle with many sexual partners and little or no commitment. No, I thought this was just 2022. Let me talk about your parents and some of y'all grandparents' generation. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to whisper so nobody from the 60s and 70s will hear me. Okay. In the 1960s and 70s, free love came to imply a sexually active lifestyle with many casual sex partners and a little bit, the dating pool sucks, and a little or no commitment. Are you serious? So this is not new? No. Oh, so you're going to tell us how it ended for all of them? A little bit. In the 19th century, including the Victorian era, it's usually meant the ability to freely choose a monogamous sexual partner and to freely choose to end a marriage, or relationship when love ended. The phrase was used by those who wanted to remove the state from decisions about marriage, birth control, sexual partners, and marriage fidelity. Dang, so that must have been, watch this, a prime breeding ground for energy transfers and the spiritual mounting of new hosts. I'm about to just get it in with everybody. Download. That's an energy transfer. Now, since we talked about sex magic, let's talk about 7 sex magic ingredients. You ready? Number 1, time. You got to have time to do that. Number 2, groups of like minds. 3, drugs. A lot of people who do sex magic are drug addicts. 4, alcohol. A lot of people who's on that, they drink it or they use it. Number 5, sex or no sex. We're going to go deeper into that. 6, music. And since all of this is BS, and I want to say something else, but I'm going to do something with this one. All of this is BS. Number 7, extreme self-interest. That's the most famous ingredient of sex magic. Whoever's doing it has to have an extreme self-interest, because we're going to be talking about the karma of even doing something crazy like this. No, this is what everybody doing. Okay. Now, check the divorce rate during the 1960s and 70s. Why? Because we're reliving the 1960s and 70s. So your children will be able to say, okay, let me see how grandpa and all y'all made it through the 1960s and 70s. We'll call it the divorce Olympics or breakup Olympics, right? And in this new modern age that everybody's complaining about, I'm just like, all we're doing is reliving this 10 years of the divorce Olympics that comes around, according to history, not my opinion. But the rise of the aggregate divorce rate between 1960 and 1974, while women, watch this, while women in their 20s comprised only about 20% of the married population. So there was only 20% of the married population. They appear to have contributed over 60% of the growth in the divorce rate. During the decades of the 60s, Jason, I thought you was going to tell me how things ended for these crazy movements. Okay, well, there's always a new disease that comes from this, because it's transfer. Think about it. Somebody gonna put something in the Kool-Aid and something will be transferred. A title will be transferred. So during those times, that grew into those times, as far as post doing whatever the hell you want, as sexually transmitted diseases and especially AIDS and HIV became more widespread, the free love started costing a lot of money of the late 20th century, because that free love movement was less attractive. So we don't need no time machine. If enough people want it, they'll make it happen again. And guess what happens? We're in the 1960s and 70s. So here's my intention. Please take any sex magic. My cousin know about sex magic, and forget your cousin. Here's the intention. Here's my intention disclaimer. Please take any sex magic talk as theoretical, because no one experience or outcome is the same. Also, I like to analyze the research and past applications of a topic before I start calling it a fact. All right. So the definition of theoretical, because somebody might have missed that, is concerned with or involving a theory of a subject or an area of study rather than its practical application. So I'm not talking about the practical application tonight. This morning I'm talking about more of the theoretical or the theory of the subject before we can even make our way to factual talk. So why are you talking about sex magic? Because I can talk about different things. Stick to your little lane of topics and I'll stick to mine. So I don't eat a lot of Twinkies, so my gut feelings, I could feel a little bit different. If you don't eat a lot of Twinkies, you'll have that gut feeling that could feel a lot different. Just like your car's gut will feel really good if you put gas in it. You put a whole bunch of cookie dough in your gut, then your gut feelings won't be able to help you with your theory processes or gut instinct or learning through your gut. And you should never disrespect your gut instinct. You're not paranoid most of the time. Your body can pick up on bad vibrations. And if something deep inside of you says something is not right about a person or situation, trust it enough, or at least your hunch is enough until your hunches prove you wrong. Seriously, that's another thing. I have a hunch. I'm like, you've been wrong 119 times. Your hunch means nothing. But if you've been right 119 times, man, your hunch is I don't know why you don't listen to your hunch. But shout out to the people who'll be wrong at the time and who'll be like, I had a hunch. I'm like, you still listen to that. Okay, so what is mindful masturbation and mindful sex? Oh, Jason's getting weird. No, this is 2022. My grandkids gonna be like, hey, y'all just now talking about everybody's weird, grandkids. Everybody's weird. So I'm talking about it. So when I first talked about this topic, everybody told me I was going to hell. So I stopped talking about it because, again, everybody wasn't talking about it. So this is all because I used to say that people who masturbate or who are just into that, because, again, a lot of people aren't really dating. Yes. There's man groups there's literally man groups out here that are not getting women. And it's driving them crazy. And I understand. It's just, what I say is they're not getting balance, if that makes sense. Just like women who, you know, them TV shows where the woman not having sex, she's a boss, but then she's having sex and she's nice to everybody. Yeah, that's if she's messing with the right, but if she's messing with the right person, she is going to be nicer at work, right? So, the people who just are addicted to that, when you are climaxing, why don't you think about obtaining or showing gratitude for your most wanted dreams during the orgasm with self or with a partner versus something else? So I told all these so-called masturbation experts, when I do talk about these topics, to think about having the partner of their dreams when climaxing to possibly expedite that dream date. Why is Jason talking about thinking away when climaxing? Don't worry, I'm about to give Caucasian references so y'all can be like, oh, white people talking about this? Okay, now say that again, Jason. So don't worry. I'll let y'all look at me funny until I give references, and then y'all say, oh, check it out. Look how I'm doing my glasses. So if all is mind, then during an orgasm, your mind is at its highest God state. And the only thing we think about during this mostly God time is, oh my God, that feels good, right? According to TV and everything that's promoted with that. It's even in songs. Shout out to Snoop Dogg's old songs. So imagine being Aladdin in that Disney movie. And you have a genie in a lamp. So you have a genie in a lamp. Remember, you gotta, like, how do you know how to get a genie out of the lamp? Because TV showed us. Exactly. So I'm getting the genie out the lamp. So imagine having a genie in a lamp like the mind is in the head. Imagine having a genie in a lamp just like the mind is in the head. That says, I will grant your biggest wishes now. And you say, okay. Number one wish. Oh my God, that feels good. Number two. Oh my God, that feels good. Number three. Oh my God, that feels good. Thanks, genie. Now, the genie will be like, what type of weird wishes was that? Oh, I get it, Jason. You're saying when you're having an orgasm, all you're thinking about is, oh my God, that feels good. You're saying, why don't you think about that? Why don't you think about obtaining your purpose, or that child you're trying to create, or your child that both of you guys are creating or is going to do major, major things? You're saying, y'all just be like, oh my God, that feels good. I get it. But no, I promise you, I'm going to go deeper into it. I'm just saying it now because I like saying it this way. So y'all could be like, oh my God. I usually like public speaking about this because I can see faces change, because people got to listen to stuff that they don't understand, and you get to see how people process and how they turn into stuff because, oh my God, you're making my brain go somewhere that I'm not used to. So I get to show you how I process, how crazy I am. I'm sorry, insane. I am. I'm not really insane. I just process like that. So in relationships, when we have to process something that don't make sense, I usually go crazy on them. But I'm not like that all the time. Until you don't know something. So, sex creates babies. Sex creates STDs, spiritual or physical. Sex creates connections. Well, your mind is in sex too. So if both partners climax at the same exact time and are thinking the same exact thing, will God be in the midst? I will say here where two, not three, are gathered together, God will be in the midst. Or no? I know y'all gonna try to add in three. Y'all can't use that for that verse. But two, God will be in the midst of two people. Okay, here we go. Jason, I can't listen to this no more. You're not giving me any Caucasian examples. So I can't listen. You know why? Because Caucasian people might judge me. Unless I know Caucasian people are doing this. And then I'll jump right into it. Okay, a Caucasian lady named Emily Fletcher talks about how to use sex magic to magnetize your dream life. Okay, Jason. Since many people think America is a part of Europe, I began looking up European history. I also researched Dr. Gemma Watson. Look her up. She wrote about sex magic in medieval Europe. The archaeological evidence. So again, all the people looking at me funny, like I'm over here making up some stuff. I'm giving you different ways to look up what I'm talking about. So here's a question that I got, and I just got to say it. So can one? How you gonna try to sound smarter? Can one ever overcome the whole phase? No pun intended. I get what that meant. So I'll say it like this: the more sexual a person gets, the closer to a witch or a warlock the host can become. Because people say that there are good and bad witches. I say thanks to duality, we know that may be true, but thanks to probability, what are the odds? Anybody claiming to be witches, I'll be like, okay. I just asked you where the bathroom was. I promise you, I just asked where the bathroom. I don't know why you told me that. Okay. Did Solomon start off with 700 wives and 300 concubines right then and there? Probably not. It probably went like 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it? So, according to the Bible, Solomon had 700 wives and 700 wives. Ooh, I'm tired. And 300 concubines. No, I'm not even going to say that. That's a lot, though. That's a lot, right? Okay. Let's go deep into that. Let's see what Solomon was doing. You will never be the original you, the virgin mind, once you merge energies with another person. Never. And parents see it in their children. Once your children start dibbling and dabbling, you would know. Because your children or your parents or your partner or whatever, if you mix energies, you can a real empathic person is going to feel that. Okay? So, the divorce Olympics and breakup Olympics are happening. So this is what it is. You're either dating up or dating down. Okay? So does dating up counterbalance your ex's energy? And does dating down counterbalance your ex's energy? Or watch this. Or what if you become one and if you date down? So just say you start dating a loser. What if your ex can feel that loser move you just made? My ex is sleeping with losers. I can feel it because we became one. Or, oh my God, my ex is sleeping with Michael Jordan. Hey, Mike. I normally don't treat guys like, but hey. And what if that brings up your ex? I'm just asking. These are questions that's keeping me up at night. Okay? So, I see the question. If your exes want to come back, could that be a telltale sign that the new energy merger is getting weaker? Because their new grass was never greener? Watch this. Even if they left you for Snoop Dogg, the grass is not greener. I'm going to say it again. Even if they left you for Snoop Doggy Dogg, the grass still was never greener. So what if a soul tie is a natural connection? God energy. And sex magic is an unnatural force connection. Devil energy. Here's another sex magic disclaimer. Every conscious or unconscious practitioner of sex magic will have their own definition of it. Due to their generational connections, because they got generational connections of their own, their life path, and their karma outcomes. So just be careful who you mix with and how you mix. It's a fact, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Did you know that writing is essential in sex magic? Make sure y'all type it out. Writing. If you ever wished on a shooting star or spent hours cutting photos out of a magazine to design your vision boards, then you all know about trying to shift the energy to chase after what you want. Sex magic isn't all that different, y'all. As a ritual, it involves setting an intention and performing a sexual or non-sexual act to try to achieve a desired result. That's all it is. The act can be rooted only in sensuality, non-sex meditation, no sex living, masturbation, or actual sex. Most humans' ultimate goal for sex is a baby or just to feel good. The best way to start any kind of so-called magic is through writing. It's helpful to transmute or change the nature of something as is through an alchemical means, which allows thoughts to form in the tangible realm. If you write a diary, create a dream board, or make collages, rather than so-called religious confessions or secrets, let your journal be the platform for manifesting. Fill it with dreams and animate it with goal-setting glorification. Now, I know. What do you keep talking about this non-sex? Okay. Does abstinence actually enhance sex magic? I'll ask you again. Does abstinence actually enhance sex magic? Because that's what y'all need. Y'all keep talking about sex and merging energies. It's the abstinent people who are the big time sexual magic practitioners. Because you ask the boxer. They tell a boxer don't have sex until after the fight. Because you full of energy, power. And if men are carriers of sperm, then we are full of people. We really got people in us. Y'all talk about women having people. Y'all got one or two or triplets or quadruplets, whatever. Men, we have thousands of different people in us. Pause. I forgot. Pause for Dave Dash. Pause for Dave Dash. So, a huge part of sex magic is avoiding sex. Really? Yeah, the freaky. We had to get the freaky people out the door first, because if we'd have started off like this, all the freaky people would have been like, man, what you mean not sex? So we got them out the door. So the logical people that, I'm not going to say these people are logical. Some of these people are manipulative. But here we go. A huge part of sex is avoiding sex. That's right. Sex magic is not about having sex all the time. Although there's a time and place, that form of so-called sex magic works. But we're not talking about that now. In order to receive maximum benefit of sex magic, the point is to control energy. Look at my Todd sheet. Manipulating energy is the key to so-called sex magic. And last time I checked, when you are so-called having great sex, don't you want to take a nap or don't you want to sleep it off? None. I get right up and jump out the window. I know, because y'all, I was just okay. But let me show you how silly this is. Again, let me show you how y'all making me laugh. Let me show you how silly this is. Sex magic is controlling energy. Man, get out of here, man. Say that humans can really be fully in control of manipulated energy, and the karmas for doing it to someone has to be laughable, and has always been laughable to me. Even talking about this topic, that's why I don't talk about this topic that much, because it's like you can talk about all the science that comes with it, but I be wanting to talk about the karmas that come with it, and people, I don't really want to talk. I don't care how dope you make this science. If you don't sell the karma and the cause and effect and the reaping and the sowing of it, I send my condolences to every practitioner that say, my homie told me to do this and do this to get a... I'll say this again, but saying that humans can really be fully in control of manipulated energy and the karmas for doing it to someone has always been laughable to me. However, it's finally being talked about. So again, back then telling people that there are some people that can cast spells during orgasms while everybody else is only casting a spell of, oh my God, that feels so good, could make pork-eating Christians tell you that that you destined for hell. And I was. And they was eating ham sandwiches and bacon. It's like a ham and bacon pig foot sandwich. I promise I made that up. So, I do sex magic to... There's karma for practicing bad magic. Jason, this sounds demonic. My ideal of magic, my foundational ideal of magic, is making something appear that wasn't originally there. My ideal of magic is making something appear that wasn't originally there. Being so-called fat and then making yourself in shape is magic to me. But using sex magic has always sounded like the practitioner would always reap or repeat what they sow for practicing ill-intentioned sex magic. Here they go. So what's good magic, Jason? I said it again. Being unhealthy and then making yourself healthy is a form of positive magic. Or making food appear in homes with no food. Or helping confidence appear in a child with low self-esteem. That's magic to me. That might be Magic Johnson. That's a no-look Magic Johnson pass. Self-esteem, if you pass down self-esteem to, come on, that's magic. Bad magic will come back and collect from the stupid practitioners in ways that can never be imagined. For long periods of time, too. So I'm telling y'all, they making it easy for y'all to jump into new karmic relationships that last anywhere from 7 to 10 on up years. And alcohol will probably be there. I ain't even gonna say 9 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, alcohol is gonna be there. Sex magic is a form of the law. No, this is a question. I'm sorry, I see the question marks. Is sex magic a form of law of attraction? Yes, it is. Many humans attract soul ties, babies, STDs, money, houses, and much, much more just from having good or bad sex. Yes. I don't call it attraction. Some people call it attraction. Other people call it consequences. So in the medical world, we practice. In the legal world, we practice. In the sex magic world, it's a practice. Shout out to Allen Iverson for me saying all the practices like that. The practice level is not a for sure world. Yeah, I had my own practice. Yeah, I had my own practice. The practice level is not a for sure world. Yeah, I got my own practice. Oh, I've been practicing for 30. The practice world or the practice level is not a for sure world. That's why it's called a practice. The definition of practice is perform an activity or exercise, a skill, repeatedly or regularly in order to improve or maintain one's proficiency. The customary, habitual, or expected procedure or a way of doing something. Practice. You must keep in mind, though, you're not going to read a spell from a book or do a bunch of unfamiliar movements like you see in films. Instead, it involves practicing rituals. Rituals? Now that sounds demonic, Jason. Michael Jordan putting on his college shorts under his Chicago Bull uniforms, or LeBron with the powder, or the way you get ready for work in the morning, everything is a ritual. The definition of ritual is a religious or solemn ceremony consisting of a series of actions performed according to a prescribed order. Ritual. So sex karma. Man, he jumped. Yeah, I jumped. Sex karma. Bad intention, sex magic. Bad intention, sex magic always gets reversed back to the sender. Or senders if you're being freaky. In so many different ways. It may never return to them how they sent it. But it's still coming. Sex magic has been practiced for way longer than it's been documented in non-Western practices. Did you know that drunk sex will turn a human out quickest, quickly? The new host taking in the spirits in the bottle, or genies in the bottle, and then the spirits and energies and vibrational transfer from the person they're currently having sexual relations with. So is drinking with someone kind of halfway from sleeping with someone? We will definitely unpack that one in the future. Let's have a drink. Codependent sex magic always returns to the sender. So I'm going to tell y'all again, a lot of people are bragging about being codependent, or I know somebody that's codependent. Codependent sex magic or the love bombers. These people will love bomb you. So whoever a codependent person is currently dating, they're probably talking to them on the phone like crazy, trying to be around them like crazy. Just always, a codependent will love bomb you. And a lot of people will take that as, oh, they just... You know how lions love bomb? Like a pack of lions, they love bomb something they killing. You can't say, oh, that's cute. No, they're consuming. A codependent person doesn't know who they are. I'm knowing myself through you, through the consumption of you. Oh, I'm so attracted to them. That's what the buffalo is saying. Oh, the buffalo, like, look at them lions running. They all running to me. I know. Come and give me a hug. It's like, no. They are not coming to hug you. If you want to ever feel drained, involve yourself with a codependent person. Think about it. If they're codependent, that means they need a new host to feed from because they can't see, do, or live life for themselves. Jason, I got to listen to the definition before I can listen to that. Well, the definition of, a definition of codependent behavior is an excessive emotional or psychological reliance on who? On God? On a partner. Typically, one requires support on an account of an illness or an addiction. So a lot of codependent people are addicted to things too. I promise you, whatever it is, you'll find addictions there. You can save a codependent person, but they gotta want it. And if they don't want it, let's move forward. So the more you use technology with sex, the more of a robot you're becoming. The TV show Sex and the City was a form of sexual magic against their target audience. No, it wasn't. Let's start from the head. Have you ever studied the comments about the love and family from the creator of that show? So if it wasn't a form of sex magic against the viewers, it show worked on the creator of the show. According to the creator of the show, I didn't say that. Women were marketed to watch Sex in the City with some wine and drinks. So imagine imagery sex magic. Imagine putting wine and drinks, and imagine being around other upstanding individuals who are, no, I'm maturing. I stopped it there. Okay, so in close. But no, let me rephrase that though. So remember, it was funny how women were targeted to watch Sex in the City with some wine and drinks. And isn't it funny how spirits love to hanging out in liquids? And isn't it funny how the human body is mostly made of liquid? So in close, sex magic sometimes is spelled magic, M-A-G-I-C-K. So sex magic is any type of sexual activity or non-sexual activity used in magic, ritualistic or otherwise religious and spiritual pursuits. One practice of sex magic is using sexual arousal or orgasm with visualization of a desired result. So any type of sexual activity used in magic are magical, ritualistic, religious, and spirituality pursuits. Any type of sexual? What's the definition of any? The definition of any is used to refer to one or some of a thing or number of things, no matter how much or how many. So rituals are there to keep you focused, to make you constantly do it. Or they are constantly doing it to you or through you. So this has been a soft introduction to sex magic, part 1. Be on the lookout for part 2. And we're going to go more into depth. But again, I feel like this builds at least a big enough foundation so we can start really unpacking. All right. So thank you for joining me for another Sunday Bars presentation. Looking forward to building with you next time. All right. Let's work. I see the questions. We better get it in. I'm going to turn off this live. Peace and love.